Hello class. In this video, we cover the last section of chapter 8, credit card. My advice about using credit card is set up auto pay. Always only spend the money that you have. Do not spend the money you do not have, at least in the near future. Also, the main purpose, you need to know the main purpose of using credit card is to build up your credit score. With a good credit score, when you go to buy a car or buy a home, they will give you a very good interest rate to save money. And the focus of this video is to learn the average daily balance method. Okay, so let's look at the definition of the average daily balance. So the average daily balance is the sum of the unpaid balances for each day in the billing period divided by the number of days in the billing period. So later when we work on an example, I'll explain again the definition of the average daily balance. So you can feel the concept simply by understanding the keywords in the concept. Average daily balance. The balance is the money you owe the credit company, right? Credit card company. And average daily balance simply means the average money you owe the credit card company every day, averagely speaking. So why do we need to know this concept? Because we are going to use the average daily balance to compute the interest on your credit card. Earlier, I mentioned that you should always set up auto pay. If you set up auto pay and never spend the money that you don't have, then you would never need to pay the interest on the credit card. And the purpose of showing you the interest is to demonstrate the consequence if you do not manage your credit card smart. Then how do we calculate the interest generated from using your credit card? So this is the formula. I equals P times R times T. I here is the interest. You might, this formula is very familiar. It's the simple interest formula, right? But the variables in the formula means different. P here is the average daily balance. R here is not annual interest rate. Instead, R here is the monthly interest rate. So if you are given in a problem, if you are given the annual interest rate, and you would have to divide that annual interest rate by 12 to have the monthly interest rate. And T here is not time in year either. T here is 1 month. So if we calculate the interest on 1 month, then we're gonna enter T equals 1. It's by month, not by year. All right? It's by month, not by year. So because one billing cycle, one billing period of your credit card is 1 month. The important concept, key concept, is the average daily balance. We're going to look at an example. The example is very similar with many of the problems you will encounter in MATLAB math. So we are going to take time to understand this example. Let's look at the information of this example. The issuer of a particular Visa card calculates interest using the average daily balance method. The monthly interest rate is 1.3% of the average daily balance. The transactions occurred during the May 1st to May 31st billing period. So this table, the given table, includes all the important information about the billing cycle in May. I'm going to copy paste this table in my Excel, because using Excel to process this problem is a lot more convenient. Yeah, you know you cannot use Excel when you take the test, but you can use Excel when you do your homework. Also, when you go to the test on your scratch paper, you should have a same table. You should have the same table on your scratch paper. Even you have to manually calculate everything. All right. So let's see, how do we set up a table to work on the information that is given to find out the average daily balance in this billing cycle in May. Okay, so the first column is going to be the dates. We start from the first day of the month, May 1st. And then we are going to list the dates on which your balance changes. Yeah, either you deposit a payment, reduce your balance, or you purchase something, a product or service, and you add money to your balance. So based on the information on this table, we have May 8th. On that day, as you can see, you deposited $250 payment, so your balance will reduce by 250. And then on May 10th, you spend money, right? Charge airline tickets, yeah. So in May, probably go to a summer school. So you spend that much money, so your balance gonna go up. And then next transaction day is May 20. May 20. You spend money again. Books, buying books. Next transaction day, May 28th. May 28th. And you went to restaurant. And the end of the billing cycle is May 31st. Even you didn't spend anything on that day, we still include the day on the first column, the last day, right? So that's how do you have the first column, beginning day, ending day, and all the days on which you have transactions going on. The second column is unpaid balance. Unpaid balance is going to be in dollars, and I want to change the amount to the nearest cents. So I go to format cells, number, and make sure it's a decimal, keep 2 decimal places, rounded to the nearest cent. Okay, the very beginning, the balance is given is $1,350, right? Is in dollars. Yeah, rounded to the nearest cents. On May 8th, you deposit the payment $250, right? So what that means your balance reduced. Your balance reduced. Yeah, how much? Reduced by $200. I'm going to use the function in Excel. You don't have to. You can manually calculate the difference. Simply use $1,350 to minus $250. And that gives us B2 is not difficult to calculate, pretty convenient. Yeah, minus 250, 1,100, right? Your balance reduced because you deposit the payment, even not all the payment, but part of it. So your balance reduced on May 8th. May 10th, you spend the money, so your balance will go up. So you are going to add $375 on top of $1,100, and you're going to have a bigger number in this cell. Yeah, I'm going to use the function B3 plus 375. And May 20th, balance go up again. So you're going to add $57 on top of $1,475. Do the math. Those are not difficult. Just the plus minus multiply divide. You don't have very complicated operations you need to handle. So on May 20th, the balance go up again. We're gonna have B4 plus $57.50. $57.50. Okay. And on May 28th, you pay the restaurant. So again, so you should know how to write a unpaid balance for May 28th. Just add $65.30 on top of the previous balance. So we have B5 plus 65.3, 65.3. Okay, so that is the unpaid balance on May 28th. On May 28th. Okay, so on May 31st, you have no transaction at all. So the balance on May 31st is going to be the same with the balance on May 28th, is the same value. All right, so that is the second column. Second column. Yeah, we are working on to find the value for P, capital letter P. Capital letter P in this section represents the average daily balance. Average daily balance. We use average daily balance method to calculate the interest if you do not pay your balance in time. The next column in this table is the number of days. Number of days of what? The number of days that a certain amount of balance stay on your credit card. Yeah, there's a trick that we can find the entries for this column. Do you see this 8, May 8th, May 8th? This is May 1st, right? What is 8 minus 1? 7, right? Yeah, let me explain what's going on. So this amount of money, this amount of balance, $1,350, stay on your credit card from May 1st to May 7th. On your credit card, that unpaid balance stay the same from May 1st to May 7th. It changes on May 8th when you deposit the payment. So from May 1st to May 7th, those are 7 days, right? Yeah, the unpaid balance stay the same, stay as $1,350. And from May 8th to May 10th, you remember the trick. 10 minus 8, what is 10 minus 8? 2. Right? May 8th, May 9th, 2 days. This balance stay the same. Yeah, May 10th, the balance went up because you spent the money to buy the ticket. And use the trick, you will see the number of days for the balance $1,475 is 10 days, right? From May 10th, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, that's 10 days, okay? Yeah, on 20th, it changes again. Yeah, use the trick, 28 minus 20, that is 8 days. $1,532.50. That balance stay from 20th all the way to 27th, that is 8 days. And the last one, the last amount of balance, $1,597.80. Stay on your credit card. Okay, do not use the trick for the last one. Yeah, do not use the 31 to minus 28. If you use the 31 to minus 28, what do you have? You have 3 days, right? But no, the balance stay on your credit card 4 days, for 4 days. Okay, excuse me. Let's see, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, once again, the last balance stay on your credit card during the same billing cycle for 4 days, 28th, 29th, 30, and 31, 4 days. The last one, you have to add a 1. Okay, so the last column of this table, we are going to multiply the unpaid balance. Yeah, multiply the unpaid balance in each row by the corresponding number of days. All right, so I'm using the function. You can manually do the operation. I'm using a function. I'm going to do B2 multiply by C2. And the answer would be $1,350 times multiplied by 7, B2 times C2. You should have the same amount when you multiply 1350 by 7. And do the same thing for the second row, 1100 times 2. That one is convenient, right? 2200, right? And next row is the same, 1475 times 10. That one is convenient as well. You're going to have $14,750. And this one is 153250 times 8. And the last row is the same thing. All right? And then we are going to, I'm going to put the sum right here. Sum of or total. Total of what? Total of those products. All right? That's the sum. I'm going to add up those products. And then later, in the next step, I'm going to divide the sum by the number of days in the billing cycle. So let's add them up first. So you can manually add them all up. Sum B2 to B6. And that's the sum. If you go to our guided notes, do you see the numerator? For computing average daily balance, numerator is the sum of the unpaid balances for each day in the billing period. Yeah, for all the 31 days. So this is the total balance over 7 days, and those are the balance over the 2 days. Those are the balance over the 10 days. Yeah, make sure those numbers add up to 31 because we have 31 days in May. Let's double check. 7 plus 2, 19. 7 plus 2 plus 10 is 19. 19 plus 12, yeah, exactly 31 days. So if you add them all up, this sum is the total, is the sum, like a total number of the daily balance add all together. And then we know if we divide that by 31, divide the sum by 31, it's D14 by 31. 31 is the number of days in the billing cycle in May. And we would have the average. We would have the average. Yeah, the P, the daily, average daily balance. Okay, average daily balance. Let me double check the value. 26. Yeah. So let me adjust the rounding. Excuse me. I'm not going to remake the video because I sneezed in this video. So keep two decimal places rounded to the nearest cents. All right. Yeah, be careful if you use Excel. Be careful with the rounding part. So that's the average daily balance. Let's go to the added notes. That should be the first part we're looking for in the first part. Find the average daily balance for the billing period, rounded to the nearest cent. Okay, if we round it to the nearest cent, we have $1,453.26. Let me write it down. Yeah, I can just copy paste. Right? Part B. Find the interest to be paid on June 1st. The interest to be paid on June 1st. The next billing date. Round to the nearest cent. Remember the formula for finding interest. I equals P times R times T, right? And P is the average daily balance, and your R is the monthly interest rate, which is given, is it 1.3%? Okay, 1.3% as decimal. You're going to convert a percent to its equivalent decimal, 0.013, and then multiply by 1 month. You only consider 1 billing cycle. Let's see what's that. Yeah, of course you can calculate it manually, or I can just operate here. I'm going to enter I interest. I use the P, which is D15, to multiply by 0.013. It's just one way to process those numbers. You can totally use your calculator. So I got $18.89. Right? So that's the interest. The interest to be paid because you did not pay back on time. You get a punishment. And knowing the interest on the credit cards is super, super high. Yeah, when you look at the 1.3%, it seems low, right? But that is monthly interest rate. If we multiply 0.013, the monthly interest rate by 12, that is 15.6% annual interest rate. Very, very high. So try not to owe the credit company. That's the most expensive way to live your life and not necessary. One purpose I keep this section is because credit cards are so important to your personal financial planning. Very, very important. When you go buy a car, when you go buy a house, of course, those are important as well. But you don't buy those big products often, right? Maybe just a few times your entire life. But in order to manage your financial personal finance smart, you need to deal with your credit card on a daily basis, right? Yeah. So you need to be very, very careful. Make it simple, as I mentioned in the beginning of this section. Make sure you do the following 3 things. The first thing, set up auto pay. Set up auto pay. Make sure your account, your linked account has enough money to pay your expense. So the second thing is never spend the money that you don't have. Always spend the money you have, or you will have in the near future within a month. Third thing is be aware the only reason or the main reason you are using credit card is to build up your credit score, because a good credit score will help you plenty when you purchase a car or home. They will give you a very good interest rate. I used to have 2 credit cards. Now and later, and I found out 2 credit cards is really unnecessary. So now I only have 1 credit card. And the credit card I have is the Amazon Prime card. One good thing about the card is I always get a 5% back. Now I can use the points to buy more stuff from Amazon. So shop smart, okay? Shop smart. Always paying attention. You might get a lot of mails from all different banks ask you to apply the credit card. Make sure you ask them, do you have an annual fee? If they have an annual fee, do not choose that credit card. There's plenty of good credit card company, annual fee free. You don't have to pay anything. You do not have to pay anything. It's supposed to be a smart way to manage your finance, not a way to run your life. Please don't let that happen. Let's go back to this question. Part C. Find the balance due on June 1st. Let's see, the balance due on June 1st. And the balance at the end of May is $1,597.80, right? Yeah, but you have to pay the interest. The interest is B16, $18.89. So the balance, the balance of next cycle, yeah, the beginning of next cycle, billing cycle, is gonna be $1669. All right? Yeah. Of course, the units are all in dollars. That's the balance due on June 1st. That's the part of the example. A lot of words, right? You need to pay attention. You need to spend time to read them. This credit card requires a $10 minimum monthly payment if the balance due at the end of the billing cycle is less than $360. Otherwise, the minimum monthly payment is going to be 1/36 of the balance due at the end of the billing cycle, rounded up to the nearest whole number, a whole dollar. What's the minimum monthly payment due by June 9th? Okay, let's figure that out. Two cases, right? The first case, if your balance at the end of the billing cycle is less than $360. And let's see, what's your balance? Your balance is your balance at the end of billing period. At the end of billing period is this number. Okay, I'm going to highlight that. Without the interest. Without the interest. Yeah, let's read it again. It says if the balance due at the end of the billing cycle, so no interest, is less than $360. Obviously, in this case, is way more than $360. So that's the second case. Otherwise, the minimum monthly payment is going to be 1/36 of the balance due at the end of the billing period, rounded up to the nearest dollar. Okay, let's do that. Minimum payment. Okay, is going to be B6, the balance, unpaid balance by the end of the billing cycle, multiplied by 1/36 or divided by 36. Right? So that's the minimum payment. That's the minimum payment. We have to round up to the nearest dollar, so $45. Okay? So you're gonna, that's how do we handle this problem. On my table note, let me go back, my table note. Oh, this section. Understanding credit card. I have a similar example. End of billing cycle. The minimum monthly payment is 1/36 of the balance due at the end of the billing cycle. Let me see. Section 8.8. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, $45. All right, so that's the example here. You have a similar problem in MATLAB math, and you can, if you do not use Excel, you do not have access to Excel. You would want to have a similar table on your scratch paper. Yeah, make sure you read the information in this section. Very, very useful. Advantages of use credit card. Disadvantage of using credit card. How do you use credit card smart to make your life easier? Yeah, please do not, abuse your credit card and ruin your life. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'll see you in the next video.